I don't need to have paper from the back. I need to have paper from the back to ask anybody to speak. Unless they can speak on an agenda item.
Goodness.
I'd like to call the meeting to order on Thursday, November 30th. It's a special called meeting. If everyone will stand with me and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll have a prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity to meet in our good city. We ask that you watch over those that day by day expend their efforts to keep our city running, and all the support groups that do so. We ask you that you watch over our citizens and protect them, and also our neighbors. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. I can add anybody else's name on there. Okay, I want to thank everyone for being here, and I'm just going to jump into the agenda items. We'll move to agenda item number 3, discussion and action on advertising for bids on the water lines improvement project on Converse and North Center Street.
Okay. We had talked to BEFCO this morning, Chad with BEFCO, and we'd like to go out on the water line improvements project on Converse Street and North Center Street, but we've ran into a snag, we think, because Jason was talking to Chad, and it seems like we might not have right of way for that block to do work in 155. So until we can work that out with them, we have to hold off. Right, Jason? You want to say anything? You're going to have to go there.
Maybe just sit closer to, you're right, no, you're good, you're good.
You're good. It's 16 to 5. Where David is.
So the problem we ran into is the right-of-way. Seems like that part of North Center, 155. TxDOT owns that easement. We don't really have much of an easement there. So we got to work something out with TxDOT, or try to work something out with the property owner to where we can gain access to install a new water line.
Okay.
So that's something I'm going to get with, me and Chad are going to get with TxDOT and try to get that figured out.
Yeah, we talked to Chad, and we found from 500 on up, we found that we have right-of-ways, but not in the 400 block. Wow.
And that's the area we were going to put the, I was proposing putting a new hydrant. Also.
Or maybe we ought to give Bo a little heads up too.
Yeah.
Any idea how long that could take with the right-of-way negotiations?
Chad's going to go ahead and get it started. I'll probably be talking with him more about it next week.
Yeah, he was going to try to go to the courthouse and try to pull up some information and see what he could find
What,
from old.
we ran into this in the past, correct?
I don't know. I don't remember it. All I remember is the 155, and I remember getting, all those right-of-ways, and we scanned those all in so we'd have them accessible, but of course we've had it with different individuals, but not messing with the state highway.
Gotcha.
That's our problem. They have very specific,
Guidelines.
guidelines that we have to go to.
If you'll step up.
For about a year, I've been
Introduce
trying to find
yourself
out
first.
ownership on this 155, and there's no proof.
Well,
I went
Introduce
at the courthouse.
introduce yourself
You need to
first. so
say
we
your
know.
name, introduce yourself.
Clement Chernisek.
Okay.
I've been, for about a year and a half, I've been trying to figure out who owns 155 from here all the way to the cemetery. TxDOT does not have any documentation. I went to Columbus, went to Wharton, went to Yoakum, went to Austin. They don't have it. City doesn't have it either. When Bo here, I don't know how many hours with him. One time we were going, we could not find any ownership. I went and even talked to the county judge.
Did TxDOT finally give you?
No.
Who gave you the okay? May I ask? I'm not trying to.
Oh, to do that other thing, I had to go to Austin and get that deal, because I told him, I said, look, how can you tell me what to do when you paved it and you don't even own it? I can tell you, if you go to the courthouse, good luck. You're going to be at it a lot better than I am. And then I worked there with a lady, and we couldn't find nothing. I think Nancy Davenport was working there at the time. And then I had some kind of plat that Mike gave me that was signed off by the county commissioners and city council way back. I showed that to the judge. He said, that's a picture. That's it. That don't mean nothing.
Because that wasn't filed, what he showed you.
It wasn't no legal document.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, they don't, if you find it, I'd like to get a copy of that too. You know, because at first they tried to tell me that they had 80 feet all the way to the cemetery. I said, well, prove it to me. I said, I got a 1941 deed that says you only got 3 feet from the curb in my property. Now, there is an easement on my side. Y'all have it, city. This is on North Center Street. I think there's a 2-inch plastic pipe there, but I'm not sure. But I was just wondering, y'all are talking about doing this sidewalk stuff with the grant. I think that water line is on that east side. Because the fire hydrant is over there.
In some areas it is. on
Yeah.
the east
The reason I was saying, man, that'd be a great time to replace line if it needs to be done whenever they do that sidewalk, but I don't know anything about any of that. But I can tell you, I do want a copy if you can find a deed. Because I couldn't find it.
Thank you.
Sounds like Bo needs to get involved.
You good? Jason, you good? You good? No, you good?
Yes.
Okay. So, we're not taking any action on agenda item number 3 till we get counsel and advisement.
That's right,
Okay.
you can't do.
Agenda item number 4, discussion and/or action on quotes for a mini excavator.
Jason, you want to talk? You might as well. This is a request.
In the packet, I got 3 quotes. I got a quote from Kubota, Bobcat, and John Deere. All 3 quotes have the attachments that, I was looking for the jackhammer attachments, the thumb attachment, the narrow and wide bucket. I believe the Bobcat quoted us the best price. That is brand new.
Would that be the one you're recommending, the Bobcat?
The 3 so when I went out for the quotes, I got some of the 3, best machines on the market. Bobcat's a very reputable brand. They're all about equal. I mean, just a different color.
So that, the deluxe cab, that's for inclement weather, is that what you're thinking?
Right. Yeah, I got an
So
enclosed cab.
if it's sleeting at 1 o'clock in the morning,
Right, if it's cold outside, it won't affect the operator at all. He'll be in a cab, heated, air-conditioned cab.
But warranty-wise, warranty's pretty well straight across the board, because I saw one had an extended warranty option.
I added an extended warranty just to kind of get kind of get an idea of what that costs. Prices have changed since the last one I purchased one of these from the city.
Everything is.
Yeah, right. And all the extended warranties through all three brands were about the same. They were within $100 of each other, couple $100 of each
All
other.
about 10 years, 10-year warranty.
Right.
Extended.
Would we be using the equipment fund for this?
I'm sure,
Yes.
yeah, we pay that back.
And you feel as if you could cut down on a lot of contract work and handle it in-house quicker, faster response, and probably more efficiently?
I would definitely cut down on equipment rental.
Okay?
We could, I see this machine being more useful than our bigger machine in a lot of areas. Quicker repair times, not, because you don't have the cleanup as if you got a, big backhoe. Yeah, it would definitely be a good thing for the Public Works group.
Did you check on trailers to haul this thing?
Trailers, I did not add a trailer combo because the trailers were a little high.
Yeah, that's okay, that's all right.
But you were saying you have one.
16 foot for carrying out.
Yeah, we do have some trailers in the back
Yeah,
there.
it doesn't take much. You see these guys, doesn't take much of a trailer.
Right.
So we're good on the trailer.
Yeah, we have a couple trailers in the back. I can have the axles and stuff checked out. The floor in one that we have is in good shape. Looks like it needs a couple tires. But, we got two pretty good trailers in the back of the warehouse right now. So we might not even need to go out and purchase a trailer.
Don't take much.
So you, ultimately, you're thinking the Bobcat would be the way to go. You'd be satisfied, you think the guys would be able to work that one just as well as the other ones? And
The last one we rented was a Bobcat.
Y'all happy with it?
They loved it. So,
So looking forward over the next 9 months through this fiscal year, do we see any other big expenses for equipment that you're gonna be needing, that you know of right now? In addition to this?
we have the one backhoe down. We still have a big backhoe. It's an older backhoe, but it's functional. With this machine, we have dump trucks. I can't really see a whole lot, what we would need.
How much money we got in the equipment fund?
Wasn't it like 190, David?
The cash is 190. The equipment fund, if all the other funds would pay it back, is about 500,000.
But this thing would pay for itself over a 10-year span, or 9 or 10-year span, correct?
Probably less than that.
Oh,
Less than that.
Less than that, yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
I think and I didn't know these numbers last time I was here. That's why I didn't know that y'all had spent $11,000 last year on just the excavator rental. So, if this thing's $65,000, $11,000 a year, that's, about 6 years, 7 years.
So the total $69,112.47, that's what you're asking.
No, that's a John Deere.
John Deere, I'm sorry, wrong one.
Bobcat's.
That's a lot different.
64.
Yeah.
64,561.01. I make a motion that we purchase the excavator, Bobcat brand, for $64,561.01.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. It's open for additional discussion. Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And that motion carries.
And I just have one comment. Also, the excavator makes a much cleaner cut than the backhoe that we use. It'll be a lot easier to clean up after.
Oh, I guess I should have asked, that price is the warranty included, correct?
That price, I think they said is good for, I can get that price.
Okay.
We're gonna get that price.
Okay.
Yeah, with the warranty, everything you see there, that's what we're gonna get it for.
Perfect, thank you.
Good. Okay. Agenda item number 5, discussion and/or action on purchase of generator for water plant number 3 to be in compliance with Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, TCEQ.
Okay, so y'all have the bids. We have, Jason got two quotes on water plant 1 and 3 from Waukesha Pierce, but we are planning to put it at water plant 3, so that one would be $99,811. And the other one was from Mercer that he had received. And it was $119,000. So we are recommending the generator, Generac from Waukesha Pierce for $99,811.
As far as being
This-
compliant, are we being penalized for anything not being?
Not yet, no. In fact, Jason and Mark had worked with TCEQ and had cleared up a bunch of violations we had standing there that we needed to clear up. So, yes, we need to, this was one of them that they mentioned that it wasn't working, the one at Water Plant 1, but they did not write us up again or anything.
Thank you for that.
They worked hard on those.
So will we eventually need a generator at all the water plants? Is that why there's water plant 1 and 3 on here?
Well, that's what Jason was talking about at first, but then after discussion, we decided that we would just buy one now and try to get a grant for a second one if we decide to go that route. Because if we're having an outage, we can use that one that we have the generator on, right? Sure. Get up.
A couple of days ago, we lost power to the west side over here. Well, water plant lost power too. It's the only time we got running right now. So if I would've had a generator, that transfer switch would've kicked on, I would've had generator power going to that plant. The plant would've never been affected. Now, we didn't lose power very long, but what happens when we lose power for a day or two? TCEQ requires cities with, water systems to have backup power. Right now, we don't have backup power. So, water plant 3 is our better plant. Puts out some pretty good water. It's pretty new. It's about 10 years old. I figured we start there first and try to get some help with another generator at the other plant while it's down and we're doing repairs in the meantime.
So we haven't tried to get any kind of grants or any kind of help for this?
Well, we were working, Mike had been working on a grant, but we had to complete the form. He didn't have quite all the information we needed on there. So we are working with that, and I think they have another submission date in December, but I don't know.
Can we hold off till then or not?
No.
We need to,
Because part of that grant requires a Colorado County mitigation plan, and they're not ready with it. The county is not.
what fund would this $99,000 come out?
It would have to come out of the equipment fund.
We're kind of stuck having to do it anyway
Well, if it comes down to it, between the excavator and the generator, I would recommend the generator, because the generator, they come out here and they see we don't have a active working generator for backup power, we'll be in violation.
And what's the delivery on this? You said
And
3
then
to 6 months?
Delivery is 3 to 6 months, so that was the last I heard.
Yeah.
Could we file for the grant, and while we're waiting for it, for some luck, they would approve the grant and we could utilize that money?
Well, she just said it's gonna be a while, 'cause
But yeah, but 3 to 6 months to get the generator in,
Yeah,
that's a while too.
well, we would still,
You
we're
could
still
still apply
going to
for it.
use it for something,
Okay.
you know,
Well, there's not just FEMA grants either, which I think this city is used to getting the FEMA grants that Mike applied with the generators through FEMA.
That one was,
Yeah,
yes.
that's,
So
there's
that's
more-
why it's tied.
yeah, there's more than just that out there.
With
we did-
HVAC.
I've not heard of any from them.
But we eventually want to put a generator at Water Plant One, right?
Eventually,
Yes.
would like to. I mean, because we have, it would, if we're gonna keep using that plant, I mean, there's already a brand-new motor control center, there's already a brand-new transfer switch there. It's all brand new. I mean, and it'd just be a generator, as opposed to Water Plant 3, we gotta put everything over there, the transfer switch, the motor control center, all that stuff. Everything has to go in like it was, we were
But
just.
since we don't have it running, we're not using it right now, that's,
Right, that's why I said we can hold off on that one, and maybe we can get some help
right.
to it.
It's the cost of doing business.
And if we do get the grant, well, then we can use that to do the generator at the other water plant.
See any way around it. I say I make a motion that we purchase the Generac SD 150W 300A for $99,811.
Second.
Just cost of doing business.
I have a motion and a second. It's open for additional discussion. Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Right?
All opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, I'll do the budget adjustments for those two items, item number 4 and 5, since they weren't originally budgeted. I'll make that adjustment.
Thank you, Jason.
And does that have to come back to council at the next meeting for
Yes.
an amendment to the budget? Good. Agenda item number 6, discussion and action to update signatures on federal and state accounts at Prosperity Bank.
That's you?
Mayor, council, the two signers on those federal and state police accounts was Todd Jacobs and Stephen Kroviak. And neither one of us are with us anymore, so we need to add 2 more, so we need to take them off the accounts and add 2 more signers, so we're going to add Mark and myself as the 2 new signers, but Prosperity Bank just wanted something in the minutes to state that effect.
We used to have to make a motion that we allow Mr. David Mason and Mr. Mark Jameson to be on the signatures for Prosperity Bank.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 7, public hearing on annexation petition received from Jose Magana for annexation of property 3.998 acres in the ETJ out of the 13.485 acre tract located at 503 West North Street. And I have on my watch 4:20, and we're going into public hearing at 4:20. I do have some folks that have signed up to speak. First person is Gary Chernock, if you'll step up to the podium. Introduce yourself. Okay.
Gotta be on record.
My name's Gary Chernoff. My basic question is to do with if this is annexed into the city along with it's already in the ETJ, so is it change the status of furnishing utilities and that to this part of this property? Or since it's already in the ETJ, isn't it under the jurisdiction of the city to furnish utilities to that part of the property?
That's your answer, City Manager.
The city would provide all of the utilities, but they would be at the cost of the developer. when
Right,
it's
but I
constructed.
mean, the city would still be providing, regardless whether it's annexed or not, the city would still be providing the utilities to that.
Yes, we would provide
Yeah.
the utilities.
Okay.
The infrastructure would be paid by the
Okay.
developer.
And in relation to actual development, the developer is bearing cost for all the installation of utilities and all the improvements to the total acreage, including the part that's to be annexed, if it's developed.
Correct.
So the city is not obligated to do any of the, to pay for any of the improvements at all,
Right.
right?
Correct.
It's all for the subject.
All right, that's my questions, that's all I have.
How far down does our utility run down Sadon Road? Or Lima Davina Road, whatever it is?
Amy has electric, I'm pretty sure, correct? Danny?
Grant, yeah.
Correct.
Runs up to Bacon's?
Alice Kruger, Klein Bacon, Amy, I don't know exactly which one last.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
But Derek is saying that it could come off of Seifert Loop or down from Sadon Road.
The electricity.
The electricity would.
But are you asking about all utilities, less than water and sewer?
Yeah.
Right. So we have sewer down Sadon Road as well.
They just have to come off of that.
So what's the purpose of annexing these 3 acres into it? If the utilities are all,
Part of city limits.
yeah, I mean, part of the city limits. I mean, so what's the purpose?
I'll let you answer that.
Well, if it's not inside the city limits, then we wouldn't have the jurisdiction to do the zoning. And if there does become a subdivision, we would also have to set those rules and regulations that they would have to follow.
And police and fire.
And then, Gary, sure, you're the chair, zoning,
Getting your exercise, Gary.
yes.
Not that I don't need it.
Right.
My name is Gary Chernoff, in case y'all missed it the first time.
Service plan.
What Dolores was saying about zoning too, that the city does not have a subdivision ordinance at present. And so it would be, unless that was under discussion several times in zoning in the past couple of years, but we've never taken any action to develop anything. And so it would rest with the council to establish guidelines to develop this. Or it would rest with zoning to, you would have to delegate to us that we need to develop a subdivision guidelines that y'all could then determine if they were adequate or whatever and then enact. So I think one thing that is important to consider, considering this is a sizable piece of acreage, is that there is some provision for, in the event that this gets annexed, that there's some provision or some clause in the wordage of this thing that it will be subject to a subdivision clause as established by city council and/or zoning. Just to preempt anything that might, if that's something we can possibly do, but just to preempt anything that would be started before, subdivision regulations could be established, or at least a form of regulation for this particular tract could be established. I think that's something that needs to be included in anything that would allow this to be annexed.
Well, if it is approved, then they will come back with a plat. Then
Yes.
we can
But
set
if-
all
but-
the guidelines.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that in the event that there needs to be, we need to be sure that there is, that they seek the approval of the city before they develop any of it.
It has to be approved.
Is the developer here to speak?
doesn't, he'll be here probably, but obviously he'll be here for the approval of it. This is public hearing on discussions of it. He has to have 2 public hearings. Yep. Gary, you good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kevin, you good with your answer? Okay. Another person signed up to speak during the public hearing, Tom Balky. You'll step up to the podium.
My name's Tom Falke, and basically, I guess y'all have already answered my question. Y'all aren't even sure if it's a subdivision yet or anything, or is it gonna be a subdivision?
We do not know that because we do not have subdivision regulations.
Okay,
There is a proposal for a housing development.
okay, so they are, that is, you know what type of housing?
Single-family home.
Okay. And the entrance would be off of west-north, is that my understanding? Or is it gonna be off of Cedar Road?
Cedar Road and West
Both
North
sides?
is what's being considered.
Okay. Any idea on how many lots?
I think they said 21. 21 is what they said.
Okay. And all restrictions to be put in by the city? Is that my understanding? If there's any restrictions on this subdivision?
It would be by the developer.
Okay.
The city would not put the restrictions on the property, I don't think.
Well, if you have a subdivision policy.
Whatever P and Z
don't
would,
have.
we would look to P and Z to,
Yeah, I mean, if there's a subdivision, if there is a subdivision ordinance adopted by that time,
Yeah.
then they would have to comply with the requirements of the subdivision ordinance. Currently, we do not have a subdivision ordinance, but it is already zoned R1. We had that meeting about that. The property is zoned R1, which is single-family development.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Michelle, do you want to? No. Do you want to speak? Are you good?
Who you point there?
Yeah. Do you want to say? Introduce yourself.
My name's Danny Albatal. So I attended the rezoning hearing, and I think at that time I was, Mayor, when you got up to speak, I was, as a property owner adjacent to the proposed area that we're talking about here, I was pretty, opposed to the idea of a development. And after mulling it over, I do understand that change has to happen. And, it can be in the best interest of the citizens, but it can also not. And, I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, but all I can say is that I hope, like what was mentioned before, I hope the council does at least take into consideration what the citizens are wanting. So, I understand, we're limited in what we can do, and the city and the council can't accommodate the wants of individuals, but I do hope that, if the plat gets approved, I'm not entirely familiar with that process, but I hope that there is discussion on maybe the amount of homes, maybe ingress and egress of the proposed development. So that's all I've
Thank
got.
you. That's what public hearings are about, Daniel. Everybody gets a chance to voice.
Is there a price on these homes, what they gonna be valued at?
I do not know.
I'm hesitant to answer, only because the previous involvement that I had, but just as a general question, anywhere from 4 up. And depending on how the market demand occurs, it could be 400 and down.
Down to where?
Oh, I would say 300. It's not going to be a low-income house based on the neighborhood that they're trying to develop. For all the amenities that they are going to be required to put in, a $250,000 home, they would probably lose money on trying to build. And developers normally aren't there to lose money. So, and they have best interest in the neighbors as well, to be honest, which is what they're trying to hear. Yes, if you'll step up to the podium. You don't have to introduce yourself. It's just, that's louder and, yeah.
Why don't you just slide it on over there to you?
Yeah.
Take the mic with you.
Sit next to,
Just something that just came to mind. How is the developer proposing to pay for his development improvements? Is he going to do this through the conventional financing, or is he going to be seeking grants of some sort to do any of the improvements?
I won't answer that. I have no clue.
Okay.
Yep. That's private business, and I'm not putting somebody's business out on the
No,
street.
I understand. I didn't know if it was information that was available or not, so. One thing I just came to mind that I was thinking about is that depending on sources of grants, if they end up going grants in the grants direction, there are some grants available specifically for low-income housing. And that's something that we need to be aware of in his final financial arrangements, that he does not finance the improvements through grants that are tied to low-income housing development, because then it would revert to being low-income housing. So that's something that we need to be aware of.
So you may have just answered your own question.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, but that was the purpose
Yeah.
of asking the question, so, okay. I think I'm through.
No, you're okay.
You're good.
Anyone else wish to speak during public hearing? Okay, we will close public hearing at 4:37. We'll move to agenda item number 8, discussion and approval of ordinance setting date of second public hearing on the annexation petition received from Jose Magana for annexation of property of the 3.998 acres in the ETJ out of the 13.4 acre tract located at 503 West North Street. Dolores, do you want to give them what date?
Okay, so originally, I had figured that from today's date, we could hold the second hearing at the council meeting date. Well, that can't happen because today, if y'all make a decision, it has to go in the paper and then at least 10 days. So it's going to have to be the following week after our council meeting.
Okay.
So, I don't know what day would be good for y'all.
It's during the holidays.
Well,
Yes, I don't know if y'all wanted to do it earlier in the week, but
Christmas until the following week, but that's like the 20th or 21st. 21st, it doesn't have to be on a Thursday, right? Or
no.
It has to be
is that the
no more than
only
20,
thing
but less than 10. Correct? 10, 20?
Yes. Has to be at least 10 days publicized.
Okay.
How about we do it on the 22nd? 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
I can't do it on a Friday. I can't do Fridays, I work. I can do it Thursday.
Thursday at 6,
On the 21st,
21st.
okay? So if somebody would have,
I'll make
at what time? 6 o'clock?
6.
I make a motion that we hold the second public hearing for annexation on December 21st at 6 PM.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. It's open for additional discussion.
Do we, want Mr. Magnolia, whatever his name is,
Yes.
show up?
He'll be here.
He'll be
He'll be here. Answer questions?
Right. That would be great. I thought he might be here today, but.
Anything else? No other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We'll move to agenda item number 9, executive session under section 551.074, personnel, city manager interviews. Folks, we're going to depart and go because I think they're going to.
TxDOT is in